Welcome back to FS22 and another tutorial combining Courseplay and Autodrive. Today we're going to look at combine harvesters, auger wagons and trucks. And before we get stuck into any of that, if you're new to the channel, please click subscribe, turn on notifications. Doing daily FS22 videos generally, lots of Let's Plays, and at the moment lots of tutorials on things like Autodrive and Courseplay. So let's get stuck into getting the harvester set up. The plan is to run, as I said, the two combines, an auger wagon, maybe extending up to two auger wagons, and then the auger wagons dumping into the lorry and the lorry running off to the sell point. I have pre-recorded the gameplay and I'm adding the commentary on because, as you will be aware, Courseplay and Autodrive is a bit funny. So let's start with creating the combine course. So we're going to go across to combine field work. We need to set a target that's in the field. The combine's not quite far enough forward, so we'll just create our target on the field and then open up the course generator. We're going to go for lands because we're combining. Smooth headland corners because that's easier. Two headlands. At the moment, Courseplay doesn't support multiple tools, and what I'm going to do is run one combine round each headland and then split them across the lands. We'll leave it at 6 rows per lands. We want to start on headlands, and we don't need any of those, so we'll just generate the course. And then we will close the course generator, and I think we'll save the course so that we can load it into the second combine. So pick a folder and then So clicking on ploughing was wrong there. You just need to click on a folder, not on a course, and then select save course and activate and give it a name. And then we can go back to the game and start the combine up. And we'll pull forwards a little bit, and then we'll bring up the mini GUI and get the worker started. For me, that's Control-Shift-H because that's the key combination that I have set. Just pull back a little bit and we'll get it going on first waypoint. So they've changed how the mini GUI and starting the worker works in it. Starting the course defaults to first waypoint, starting the worker once you're on the map defaults to nearest waypoint, which is cool. So we'll load that course up, and I've set it so that it shows waypoints because what we're going to do is start this combine on the second headland. This is very much like I did on my two combine video, but we're then going to add in Autodrive doing the carting. So you could do what I did on the forage harvester video and double the working width. My concern there is whether you'd always be able to get to the augers on the two combines, but then again, so here we're just bringing up the mini GUI and we're doing nearest waypoint to get this going. So my concern there would have been whether the augers were out, but Autodrive drives to the crop anyway. So, you know, one of those things. Next job is we're going to set the truck up. So bring up the Autodrive HUD, create a waypoint for the truck to wait at, and then we're going to link that up to the road network, and then drive off to the sell point, and then hit record again and spur off to the delivery point and create our dump point. Link that back to the network, and we are good to go there. So I know we need to spur off and create our link up to that. We're then going to put it into pick up and deliver mode, picking up at truck weight, delivering to the silo dump that we created. And our combines are all full. I put convoy mode on, but it still doesn't work. So now setting up carting. So we create a waypoint, give it a name, drive up, so we go over the truck and create our tip point just past that, and then link everything back up. That tight turn next to the tree comes back to bite us. We then put the tractor on combine unload and select the field point that we had created and the tractor unload and hit go, and we set the combine to that field 68 point that we created. Doesn't matter what mode the combine is in, it just needs to have that set on the Autodrive HUD. You will notice that Autodrive and Courseplay do not work as well together with combines at the moment as they do with forage harvesters, which I found quite surprising. Something that I found that helps, although it will unload on the move, A lot of the time it's better to set it to pause to stop to unload, which I do later on when we get into the thick of things. So we're finishing the first headland with Combine 1, and we're going to stop it at this point, and I try and call, so you can set a button to call a drive up. For me that's Alt Control D, and I thought it was a good idea to empty the combine before we got stuck in, but that takes ages, so we forget about that and restart the combine going down the first land. Then bring up the menu, and we're going to cut in to the third land here. So the ins are the red dots, the outs are the green dots, and we can see the combine didn't make it all the way down, but because Courseplay is cool, it backs up a bit and cuts in, and then Autodrive can work its way around to unloading this combine. And we've pretty much got a full auger wagon, and this is, you can see this is where some of the interaction of the two is not brilliant, but if you're running a really big farm, some of the stuff you're going to need to use. So the tractor's driven off to empty into the truck. And I just set the wages to 0 there because it's spendy. And this is where you can see our corner doesn't work, so we're going to delete all of the points of the corner and create it again. So if we get back to roughly where we want the start to be, hit record again, and just do that turn slightly better, and that should hopefully work better for us. And both tractors needed empty, both combines needed emptying. So I've brought another carter in, it's set up exactly the same, so it's using the same points, and Courseplay will decide which tractor goes to which combine. I didn't use the 8RT that I had there because, and I end up swapping out the Axion TerraTrack as well. Tractors with tracks don't seem to work so well for some of this stuff. And you can see here we're getting an issue where the combine will only empty a tiny bit and then drive off, and so what I've done here is set the combines to stop when they are emptying in Courseplay. Some of this I should probably have done slightly slower, but I didn't want another massively long video. So now, because the truck's almost full, I've hit the double arrow in the middle of the Autodrive HUD to send the truck off to dump, and you can see that is dumping from both sections of the trailer, and here it comes back to its waiting point. So the process with combines, I found, is not as slick as forage harvesters, as I said, but it does work, and if you're running a big farm, you're probably going to want to do something like this. And this field is not really big enough to need it. You could probably run one big combine and maybe have Autodrive carting with one tractor for you. This was purely to demonstrate what could be done. So, I think I've put the first combine back on to unload on the move, and it seems to be working okay. It's very dependent on where the unload happens and how quickly the carter gets to the combine as to how well it works. So obviously here it's decided to not empty and called over the other tractor. So there are still some funnies with the interaction between the two, but the fact they do work together I think is really cool. So sending this one off to empty because it's just waiting and not doing anything. So it does work its way back over to the truck to empty. You see every time the TerraTrack is nudging the combine as it goes past. So we swap it for a Landini. Not used one of those before, it's the big Landini. So it's got enough power, and just setting that up exactly the same. So it's in combine unload mode with the field 68 and the tractor unload points set. I think in hindsight when I edited this I should have done some of this, certainly some of the setup of the tractors and the truck in slow mode. Again, sending the truck off to empty itself. I do show at the end what happens when the truck gets full and the tractors are trying to empty. You'll see what happens there. It's quite neat. It's quite well integrated. Obviously the carting is all Autodrive working together. So the interaction between Autodrive and Courseplay is the combines and the carters. One combine is almost done. It doesn't work brilliantly at the end of the run. I don't remember how well it worked on FS19 at the end of a run, if I'm honest, but at that point, yeah, you can jump in and take over and manage emptying your combines, whether you do that straight into the truck or into the auger or however you're working it. Yeah, it works okay. Remember, these are both in beta. I think Courseplay certainly is in beta, and it's going to get better. They're improving it all of the time. This was recorded with Courseplay version 9. No, it's Courseplay 7.0.0.20, and Autodrive I think is 2.0.0.3. So if you're using a later version, things will hopefully be better. But you can see that's unloading on the move really nicely. And we're just emptying the auger wagon because it's almost full. And the Autodrive I found is stopping early enough to allow space for the combines to turn at the end of the rows, which is again really nice. And that's that one done. I have to jump in and stop this one manually because it still thinks it's running the rest of the course. I do try and call a worker over to unload, and the Landini just sits and drives into the tree. So we'll do a bit of manual intervention. We have called over the New Holland to see if it will empty our combine. It doesn't. It does a bit and then drives off. So the Landini has emptied one combine, and we've sent that off to fill the truck up. We'll do the same with the New Holland, put it back onto Autodrive, and this will fill the semi up. The first bunker is full and the second one is now full. So you can see the Landini is pulled forward to the waypoint. The truck is going off to empty itself. And when we get back, you will see that the New Holland has parked behind the Landini, waiting for its chance to get to the unload point. Just before we wrap up, thanks for watching, folks. If you found this useful, give me a like, give me a comment. I'm learning as much as you with some of this stuff, so definitely leave a comment, and catch you next time.